This is 5 Minute Feng Shui Podcast, episode 123, the Southeast Corner of Wealth, Prosperity, and Earning Luck. Welcome to the 5 Minute Feng Shui Podcast, where each week I talk about how to move energy and make money. You'll learn how to create a prosperous home and an abundant life using classical Chinese Feng Shui. I'm your host, Katie Weber, publisher of the Red Lotus Letter, Feng Shui Easing for Wealth. Each week, I'll cover Feng Shui topics that can help you improve your life, share inspiring stories, and always end with 3 easy-to-implement Feng Shui tips that you can put to work right away, and usually in about 5 minutes. Now let's get started on the 5 minutes that could change your life. Hello there, Feng Shui friend. I am at the end of my day, and I saved this podcast episode because it's fun. And I remember my husband when we were living on a remote atoll, was where we met 30 years ago. Hard to believe it's that much time gone by. But he taught me to play golf while we were out there. It's a little tiny island. It's 2 miles long and a half mile wide. And every day we had a standing date at 4:30 to play 9 holes of golf together. And he's a great teacher. One of the things he taught me, though, was to always end on a good note. He said, never end your golf round with, failing to make the putt or, whiffing the ball, that kind of thing. And today, what I'm doing is this podcast, talking to you, and I'm ending my day on a fun note. This is a really good lesson, and it's always stuck with me that he taught me that, and I always thought, that is a really good lesson for life in general, is it not? And one of the things that even then in writing this article about the Southeast Corner, when I was writing the article, I had followed a sort of a pattern with all of the sectors, and one of the parts of the pattern was that it ended on, things that you shouldn't do in that particular sector. And I noticed that it was ending on a sort of a negative note. And I was like, it's about growth and about beautiful energy and wealth, obviously, because it's the Southeast Corner. And I thought, I can't end this on a negative note. It needs to be on a positive note, going back to that island. And don't end that golf round on a negative stroke or a problem. So I finished up this article today, got it ready for the e-zine publication tomorrow, and I thought, I'm going to go ahead and just do this podcast to finish out my day. I've been trying to wrap up a little earlier. My neck gets really sore. I had neck surgery, 14 years ago, hard to believe, but I noticed that the longer I sit at my desk, the more my neck bothers me. So I thought, I just need to limit that. What is it? The sitting disease that they talk about these days, that sitting is the new smoking. And so evidently I'm smoking 8 and 9 hours a day. So I've been really working on ending on a positive note and ending a little bit early, no more than 6 hours of sitting. It helps my neck. It helps my outlook. It makes me feel much more creative too, just to have this a little bit of open space, a little open time ahead of me. So there you go. That is my little lesson for the day about ending on a good note and scheduling a little time for yourself. This is something that I promised myself I would do, even though last year we had more time than on our hands and places to go or things to do with the pandemic. But what I'm finding is even having just the time to go take a walk around the block or do something like that, really, it's something that it's just for me. And, I don't know if you're like me, but, sometimes, you're at the end of your own line and you need to be at the front of your own line. Now, let's talk about this wealth sector, because it's all about growth and all about the wood energy and the wood element, but the particular wood element. So let's dive on in and talk about the Southeast Corner, the Feng Shui corner of wealth, prosperity, and earnings luck. Now, the Southeast is one of the most favorite corners of the bagua in feng shui. You all know that. Everybody always wants to know about love and money. It's the southeast and the southwest. Those two are like the twin pops. Remember those popsicles that you break apart and share with a friend? They're like the twin pops of feng shui. Now, it's called the wealth sector, but this corner is related to money that you save and you want to grow. Money for these purposes is often around IRAs, 401ks, other investments, and it's about the growth of prosperity and new ways to earn money. This is all about money that you want to save, invest, and grow and cultivate, really cultivate. I really want you to be thinking of gardening. When you're thinking of the southeast corner, you should be thinking garden. And this is a really important aspect because the element is small wood, and that is the gardeners. I think of those rows and rows of bedding plants that you see at a nursery. When I think of the southeast corner, that's what I think of when I think of that corner. I think of rows and rows of bedding plants with beautiful plants just ready to go into the ground and take off running. I think it's a beautiful image, and that's what we want our money to do, right? Just to go and grow. Now, this is the sector of the oldest daughter. It also pertains to your hips and upper legs and your buttocks. So, if you've got some sciatic nerve problems, definitely look in the southeast corner, see what's going on there, see how you can manage that. If there's a little metal in there, maybe you need to tone that down, or maybe if you could move that out of your living room, let's say you've got a metal figure or something like that, or maybe a candle, that could create some problems like with sciatic nerve or hip pain, that kind of thing. But this is the corner when it's afflicted, like with the fireplace or kitchen, you might have some difficulty accruing money. Because it's the prosperity and wealth sector, it is bolstered with water symbols and elements. That means this is the right place to put your aquarium for sure. Now, the southeast sector, as I mentioned, is the sector of small wood, and its color is bright green, similar to the leaves that bud on a tree or on a small flower. And it is the seed of growth, something that we wish our money to have in it. We want our money to have that seed of growth. This is a potent chi that the southeast has. It's the ripening chi. So it's like the fruit that's on a vine that is about to ripen. That's the image that you want to think of when you're thinking of the southeast corner and its ability to grow your assets and create new sources of prosperity. Now, wealth and money that come into the house is very important, but it's the money and income that stays in your home, that over time grows larger, that really matters. This corner relates to the ability to find and cultivate existing and new sources of income and wealth. To add more earning potential, you always want to activate this corner to develop new streams of revenue, right? That was one of the big ideas behind Rich Dad, Poor Dad, is that Rich Dad, Poor Dad, the rich dad has multiple streams of revenue, so maybe rental houses and other types of work things that brought money into the house, whereas the poor dad usually just went and worked at a job and came home. And that's the idea. And it's true, even little small trickles of money can add up when it all trickles into one pot. That's the kind of the idea of like dividends and stocks and investments, that even though they're small amounts, when they all trickle all into the same pot, they grow. So this is the idea, is that we want to have more sources of income and that we want to grow them and cultivate them, make them larger. Now, having this sizable investment or a savings account and that kind of wealth means that you have more financial ability to withstand difficulties, and that you're going to be able to take care of yourself in your older years, or perhaps money to pass along to your heirs. That is a real sense of financial security when you have that kind of money behind you. I know I had a client who had, she did very well. She was financially very well off, and she had a great business, nice income, but she couldn't hold on to a buck. She could sure make a buck, but she just couldn't hold on to it. And that's important, that you want to be able to make some money, but you want to be able to grow some money. And this is what the southeast corner is all about. So we want to pay really close attention to that. So let's talk about this southeast sector. Now, as I mentioned, it's symbolized by the small wood, which is also the rectangle shape, and that light green color. Just think of the new leaves on a plant or a tree. Now, anything, if you've ever been to a nursery and you've seen people working at a nursery, what do they do oftentimes when they're at the nursery? They're watering, especially those little bedding plants, because they are big drinkers. They are thirsty. Those little plants, they're trying to grow, and so they want water. That means that water-related elements are great energizers for the southeast corner of your home or living room. An aquarium is an excellent activator for the southeast corner, as is a fountain. And in particular, if you could do a 3-level or 6-level fountain, it will bring additional prosperity. Like, those are very auspicious numbers. The 3-level is 3 is a number of growth. 6 is 2 times 3, right? Double growth. What can be better than that? But make sure that any fountain shows both the source of water, like a spout, and there is a place to see water accumulate. Now, although they're very popular now, the disappearing fountain is a type of fountain that flows down the vessel like a large urn, and then it appears to run off into rocks. Now, this symbolizes water or money lost rather than being captured, saved, or accrued. For this reason, disappearing fountains are not high on my feng shui list. It's always important that you see both a source of money, which is the spout or the spitter or the bubbling up, the bubbler, if you want to call it that. And then you want to see the source, and then you want to see the accumulation of water, because that represents the 2 types of income that we want, right? Remember my friend, the businesswoman? She had money coming in. She could make a buck, couldn't save a buck, but the money would go out just as fast as she can make it. And this is what's important about the 2 types of money. We always want to have, or 2 types of water, is we always want to have 2 types of water, because it gives us the 2 types of money. Yes, there's lots of different types of money. I know I've spoken about that before. And it's so important that we have multiple types of money. I'm a big fan of both money that comes in, money that accrues, and fun money. I love some fun money. I pay myself every month with fun money that I can just do whatever I want with. I hope you have a fun account too. All right, well, let's talk about, now that we've talked about all the things that can energize the southeast, let's talk about what you should avoid. And this is, because it's small wood, it is exhausted by fire. If you throw a log on a fire or branches on a fire, it burns up, right? So it exhausts that wood element, and it's destroyed by metal. All you have to think of is a lawnmower going over the blades of grass and just mowing them all down. So metal is not the element that you want to have in the southeast, and red colors are also not what you want to have in the southeast or this corner of your home, your garden, or your living room, because it can harm those opportunities for money luck to enter your life. Now, if this is the location of your kitchen or fireplace, you can add images of water here to assist with the growth potential of the southeast. And and the other thing that you need to think about is that metal in this corner can create a drain on finances, as well as strain the relationship with the oldest daughter in the household. And then, as I mentioned earlier, it could also cause problems and pains in your hip, your buttocks, your legs. Like when I think of that, when I hear about pain in the hips and buttocks and legs, all I think of is sciatica. It's that nerve that when you hurt your back, it gets irritated very easily. And that's when I think of the southeast corner and having a health complication there. Now, it can also just be that you have arthritis in your hips or something like that. Now, let's talk about the southeast and its benefits here. Now it relates to the number 4, but don't panic. This is the number of the wealth sector and the oldest daughter. And even though 4 is a homonym for death in Mandarin, it's not a negative number. Trust me about that. It's really a number that signifies growth and reproduction. And that's what we want our money to do, reproduce and grow, right? So this is a perfect place to put those symbols like a fish, a tortoise, turtles, any images of water, add your water fountains, an aquarium. All of these symbols are beneficial in this corner of your home. And of course, let's not forget flowers. These are really the plant that most resembles the southeast corner, because it is the yang expression of a plant. It is, if you could imagine, a flower is how a plant smiles. That's what I'm going to say. A flower is an excellent energizer for the southeast sector, as are a grouping of plants. If you want to energize the southeast sector, just get yourself some nice fresh flowers and put them in the southeast corner of your home or your living room every week, and just keep it all nice and energized. It's amazing what that can do for your prosperity, and you might just see some new opportunities come to you. The other thing I want to mention is the importance of your garden. The southeast corner of your yard is just waiting to be activated for wealth and prosperity luck, with beautiful flowers and plantings and even a tree. If you could put a water feature there, that's fantastic, or a bearing tree, like a fruit bearing tree, an apple, a peach, anything that creates that abundance and that ability to harvest something. It's beautiful energy, and it's so in line with the southeast sector. Now you can always, let's talk about some really fun things too, because if you want to add more growth, you can add bamboo there as well. Bamboo is a great thing to add to the east or the southeast because it's strong and it's resilient. And yeah, good luck stopping bamboo, right? If you've ever planted it, it's a great plant to have in the southeast corner of your garden, and it makes a beautiful sound when the wind blows through it. So bamboo is terrific there. Fruiting trees are wonderful there. You can also add anything that flowers, particularly things that flower a blue color. So that could be your hydrangeas. I'm trying to think of other flowers that are blue, but anything in that blue or purple. Purple is a great color to add to the southeast corner of your garden. All right then, well, I am going to wrap up with our 3 tips for the southeast sector, and one of them is a secret one that I held back and didn't even talk to you about. All right, tip number 1, in the southeast corner of your yard and garden, make sure that your home and landscape is beautiful, and pay particular attention to the southeast corner of your yard or your garden, and keep it beautiful. Add some water there, because that will help you with money, without a doubt. Tip number 2, add pictures of water, especially if you have a fireplace or a kitchen in the southeast corner of your home. Add a big picture of a lake or an ocean over your fireplace if this is where your fire, if it's in the southeast corner, and put a picture of water or an urn of water if this is in if the southeast corner is your kitchen. All right, tip number 3, green light. Green light means go, right? And green light in the southeast sector means go and grow. The southeast sector is enhanced by that color green that's harmonious with it. And by adding some green objects or a green light to this corner, it doesn't have to be anything really big. You could just use a Christmas tree bulb and put it into a little night light. You can shine a green light. There are all kinds of colored bulbs that are there. Purple light, but especially green light. Green light is, just think of it, green light to go and grow for your money. All right, there you go. The southeast corner. I think I have covered all the corners, and it's been fun talking about them, because I like to go in depth about each of the corners. It gives you more insight into those corners and what they relate to, and especially this corner. This is the corner that everyone wants to know about. If it's not love, it's about money, right? Those are the two kind of cornerstones of happiness. Now, not saying money buys happiness, just buys everything else, but and like I don't know, a roof over your head and groceries, that kind of thing. But in the meantime, I hope that you will get out and look at the southeast corner of your garden. Plant something beautiful there that flowers or fruits or grows abundantly, because that will help you grow abundant in your finances. Have a great week, and I'll talk to you on the next episode of 5 Minute Feng Shui.